What's up, Los Angeles? It's Ryan Dyrud, and today's episode of the LA Football Podcast is brought to you by Brewery X. Brewery X is the independent craft brewery located in Anaheim on the La Palma Beer Trail. It's right by the Honda Center and the Angel Stadium. They were founded in 2018. They have over 30 beers and over 10 hard seltzers. It's a fantastic environment there. They have great beer and hard seltzers. Right now, they are pushing the Jungle Juiced hardest seltzer. It's over 10% ABV. If you remember Jungle Juice from college, then this will bring you back to those glorious Friday and Saturday nights, or Monday morning if you're skipping class, or whenever you had Jungle Juice, but this will bring you back. So make sure to check out Brewery X. If you live in the LA and Orange County area, you can go visit them personally, or there'll be a link below in our description where you can order beer online. Of course, tell them that LAFB sent you.
With USC great and NFL stud, Frostee Rucker.
The Trojans back in front.
And LAFB founder Ryan Dyrud on the Believe Podcast Network and LAFBnetwork.com. This is your destination for Los Angeles football.
What's up, Los Angeles, and welcome in to another edition of the LA Football Podcast here on the LA Football Network, LAFBnetwork.com, your destination for Los Angeles football. Always on the Believe Podcast Network. A lot of great shows on Believe. Make sure to check them out. But most importantly, follow the LA Football Podcast. Pumped about today's show, man. Terrell Burgess, safety for your Los Angeles Rams, going to be jumping on with me, talking, his past, his draft process, the injury, the Rams, and some stuff he likes outside of football. So just an awesome dude, man. It was so fun talking to him. Just a very, very cool guy. When you do these interviews, I've been very fortunate that 99% of them have all been super awesome people and just great to get to know. And he certainly is one of those. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. Show today brought to you by Garrison Brothers Whiskey. Phenomenal whiskey. If you have ever heard of Pappy Van Winkle, if you've had it, good for you. It's hard to find. It's very expensive. Garrison Brothers actually is similar in profile to Pappy Van Winkle, but for a fraction of the price. We will have a link in the description below. You can go and order Garrison Brothers online. You can get it at Total Wine, at Bevmo, but it's a fantastic product. It's made fully in High Texas, and all of the ingredients are coming from Texas as well. They frequently partner with other companies for limited edition product runs, including a successful line of bourbon-flavored ice cream with our very own California-based McConnell's ice creams. They've historically done well in competition, with our double-oaked Balmoria winning a double gold medal at the 2020 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. So, Garrison Brothers, you got to check them out. One of our newest partners. If you love whiskey, you got to try out Garrison Brothers. Like I said, link will be in the description below. Head there, order directly from the source, or you can order at Total Wine or Bevmo. As always, tell them LAFB, tell them Ryan Dyrud, tell them Frostee Rucker sent you, and enjoy yourself a nice drink. And hopefully next show you can pour a glass with us as we record. So hope everyone's doing well out there. It's a gloomier day here in Los Angeles. Every now and then it's kind of nice, though. A little break from the sunshine, which sounds bizarre to say. But, we're spoiled with how much sunshine we get out here. Sometimes it's nice to have a little overcast, cooler weather here in May and just stay indoors, which also sounds weird considering the year we've just had. But anyway, I'm always glass half full, always being positive. And sometimes this cloudy weather is good. So it's been a great week here at the LA Football Network. I'm just so proud of what we're doing. A lot of fun things. You know, I want to get to this interview. I know Rams fans are itching for it. Terrell Burgess, awesome guy. Lastly, got to mention betonline.ag. You know it well if you listen to the LA Football Podcast. It is our online betting partner. Plenty of prop bets on what's going on in sports right now. NBA playoffs around the corner. NHL playoffs really around the corner. MLB is in mid-season form. What's going on with the Dodgers, man? I know they just won, I think, 2 games in a row, but what's going on? But it's May. Everyone needs to settle down. It's May. Still the most loaded roster in baseball, I think. I think they'll be fine. I feel like every year the Dodgers kind of start slow and they pick up pace when it matters most. So they're going to be just fine, I think. Lakers also, you know, some injury concerns. What's going on with LeBron, AD? I think they'll be okay. Clippers are playing great. I think last I checked, they're 3rd in the West. It's still strange to me, and this is the world we live in now in 2021 with all this weird stuff. The Phoenix Suns are your Western Conference division leaders right now. That's just hard to wrap your head around. Even back in the days when they had Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash, I don't know if they were ever actually leading the West. Maybe they were. I was very young back then. But yeah, it's very odd to see them as your top dogs. Anyway, as usual, getting off topic, betonline.ag. You can bet on those games, bet on the playoffs, pick your winners for each respective sport champions, or you can just stick to football like I do because it's what I know best. You can pick, you know, bet on the Rams as your Super Bowl champ. I think they're 3rd or 4th favorites right now. So you can put money on them. You can put money on the Chargers if you want to take a big shot. You can bet on an all LA Super Bowl. All that's right there at betonline.ag. So sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy this show. Terrell Burgess, Los Angeles Rams safety. Let's get it. All right, Rams fans, got a good one for you today. Extremely delighted, honored. It's a pleasure to welcome on the LA Football Podcast, Rams safety, former Utah Ute, and a product of Oceanside and San Marcos High School, the Terrell Burgess. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Fantastic, actually. Kind of cloudy day here in LA. It's been that way a few days, but
it's been like this kind of like all weekend, I feel like.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, though. Sometimes you get a break from the sunshine, which sounds weird. But
great, yeah.
Yeah. So, but dude, thanks for taking the time and hanging out with me for a little bit. Before we get into it, just got to ask, how's the rehab? How's the off season? How's the ankle? How you feeling?
It's a lot better than it was 6 months ago. I'll tell you that. It's getting a lot better. I started to run and everything, started cutting. So I'm just excited to see what it does during the season.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. You know, we are huge fans of yours. When you were picked, which we'll get into a little bit about your draft story, but when you were picked by the Rams, I was so pumped for you to come to LA. We have a writer who went to Utah as well, probably around the same time you were there. So he's a huge Utah guy. And he was like, Rams got such a good player in Burgess. So
that's cool. I like that.
So we're happy to have you here and excited to see how you come back from that. So, but yeah, man, let's go back a little bit. I always like to kind of, you know, go through the storyline a little bit about to where we are. You know, SoCal product, you know, being born in Oceanside and then playing and going to high school at San Marcos. What was it like kind of being a football player in the San Diego area? You know, you have legends there with, you know, LT and Junior Seau and Rodney Hudson. Like, what was it like being a football player in the San Diego County area?
It was really nice. I think it was like, because I always had friends from like outside of San Diego County, but like it was just nice to be able to know that like there had been some good players that came from there that made it to the league. And actually, you know, there's some players in the Hall of Fame, like Terrell Davis is from LA. Mm-hmm. I mean, Marcus Allen's, I'm at San Diego, not LA. Yeah. Marcus Allen's from San Diego. There's a bunch of good, really good players that are from San Diego. Reggie Bush, Alex Smith. Yeah. So it was nice to know that, you know, there's a possibility. But it's funny, like going to San Marcos High, because my mom actually went to Oceanside High, and she used to always say, she was like, yeah, when we used to see San Marcos High on the schedule, we were like, oh, easy win, you know what I'm saying? So it was nice to know that it wasn't like that when I was in high school.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, Terrell Davis is one of my favorite players of all time. He actually, I don't know if you knew this, after being in high school in San Diego, he actually went to Long Beach State back when Long Beach State had football, went there for 2 years. And then the program folded, so that's when he transferred to Georgia. But he actually, and I went to Long Beach State. That's where I graduated from. So,
oh, that's cool. Yeah. I didn't know that. That's cool.
So he was a 49er for a little bit. If you, again, if I'm wrong, you know, Wikipedia is not always right. But what I saw when, you know, looking you up, you played a little receiver also in high school, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I played. Honestly, whatever they asked me to play. The only thing I didn't play was O-line and D-line in high school. I probably played every position on the offense and defensive side of the ball.
So what made you ultimately decide to stick to defense, stick to the secondary? Was that just how you were recruited? Were you a little better? Did you enjoy it? What
I I think ultimately I kind of just enjoyed it. I didn't think I really wanted to play receiver. Like, obviously everybody loves scoring. It loves glory and everything. But I think there was just something about the instincts when you play on defense, how you have to react off of other people. And obviously you have to be proactive as well. But I think there was something that drew me towards playing defensive back. And then I just stuck with it when I went on to play in college.
Yeah.
I actually played receiver a little bit at Utah too. So that was kind of.
That's right.
funny.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see you in some packages with the Rams. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
They got a pretty deep receiver room now, but hey, you never know.
We got a pretty good receiver room.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, I played receiver. So our high school, I don't know how big San Marcos, your team was. We had like 100 kids on our football team. So no one played both ways, even though we probably would have been better if some of our athletes did, because we had a few guys who were just that good. They should have probably played both ways. But our coach was like, no, I want everyone to play, get their fair shot. So I stuck with receiver, even though you can't, we're not together, we're virtual, but I'm 5'7", like on a good day in like dress. But as a receiver to the next level, I probably should have switched over to defensive back. I could have gone, but looking back on it, and my coach was like, hey, you should come over and join our secondary room. But it's like, I already put in all the work. And
that's understandable.
I get how it works. So, so you got recruited, I believe you got what? Wisconsin recruited you. You got, I think, Boise State. You got Arizona, Utah. What went into the decision to choose Utah?
It was a tough one. I think, like, from the time that they had first reached out to me, I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And all I knew about them was that they beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl in 09 or 08, whatever year it was.
Yeah.
So then I went on a visit there in the summer, going into my senior year, and I was like, oh, this is kind of nice. But I wasn't like, oh, I really liked it, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm ready to make a decision. I kind of wanted to make sure it was the right one. And then every time I went on a different visit, like an unofficial or official visit, I kind of was always comparing it to Utah. So when it came down to it, I felt like that was just my heart trying to tell me something that I needed to go there, and I loved it. So
that's awesome. Yeah, obviously, if you're comparing to that seems to be probably the choice to make. So
yes, sir.
What's the rivalry actually like with BYU, or is that I'm assuming that's your biggest rival? What's it like?
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest rival. What do they call it? The Holy War. It's big. I'm not gonna talk too much about BYU, but or we call it TDS in Utah. At Utah, we called it the team down south. But
yeah,
it's a pretty big rivalry. The fans definitely get into it. I guess I'll just talk about my first taste of the rivalry. I think it was one of our first 3 games my freshman year. And the first play of the game, we got a pick 6, and it was, and our crowd went crazy, and I was just like, whoa, like this is a real rivalry. That was kind of like my first big moment in college football. It was like one of our linebackers got a pick 6 the first play of the game, and it was just like crazy. So it's a big rivalry. It was nice to be able to win all 4 years against them.
Nice.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish Frostee was in here right now. My co-host, he played at USC, obviously, so he covered UCLA, but he can't even mention them. He can't even say about him. But when he was in college, they beat UCLA all 4 years too. So there's something special when you beat your rival the entire time you're there, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's something you can take home. So aside from that, because that's probably one of them, what is your favorite college memory? It doesn't even have to be football, I guess. What was just your favorite memory of
college memory? Oh,
putting you on the spot.
That's big. I don't know. I had a lot of college memories. Obviously I had a lot of fun playing football, but I think it was just hanging out with my teammates and my friends. It was just, I don't know. I feel like I had a good time. That's why I've actually been back to Utah quite a few times since the season ended. So I'm sure I'll probably go back again before this next season starts. But yeah, I think it was just hanging out with my friends, regardless of what it was just always fun out there. And I think I met a lot of lifelong friends. I made a lot of lifelong friendships while I was there that would just go on.
That's great. Yeah. And a beautiful campus, beautiful city.
Yeah. That too.
That helps. Well, that's a good segue, because you went back for the spring game and did some, you actually called the spring game, right? Is that something you want to do after football, or was it just they invited you and you said, yeah, I'll go?
Yeah, it was kind of like the spur of the moment thing. They had invited me, 2 weeks prior to the spring game, and they were like, oh, well, you're one of the candidates, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking I wasn't a communications major. They kind of just, I'm more of somebody that just I wouldn't say enjoys talking sometimes. Yeah. I think they just thought of me. So I didn't hear anything of it until about 4 days before the spring game. And they were like, okay, so you're coming to Utah this weekend. I was like, oh, okay. So you guys decided to have me come. So it was kind of just spur of the moment thing, but it was really fun. It was.
So they didn't even ask you. They didn't even ask. They just said you're coming to Utah this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they asked me. They said, "Will you come?" But it was just kind of like it just kind of put it on me. I don't know. I don't think they were. I think at the moment that I said that I would do it 2 weeks prior, they kind of like had made their decision then,
Gotcha.
but didn't tell me. But
Yeah.
it's okay. It was fun.
Yeah. So what was broadcasting like? 'Cause I do podcasting, but I've never done like a live broadcast. How was that getting your feet wet doing that in a live setting? Was it easy? Was it hard?
I think it was a little difficult, and I feel like I was very cautious about like the things that are coming out of my mouth, and I realized instantly that I wasn't a communications major, but I do feel like if I really pursued that, I feel like eventually I could get good at it. But it was really cool. It was nice that I had a great I'd say I was a right hand man to like Roxy Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
And he did really well, and I think. I don't know. The coolest thing I could probably say the whole thing was I didn't know that the producer is talking to you in the same time that you're talking sometimes. So that was like really cool. And then when you go on a commercial break, he would start counting down from like 6. And I was listening to Roxy talk, and he'd be like, the producer would be like 6, 5, 4, and count all the way down to 0. And he would end his statement perfectly at 1 every single time. Not rushed, not slowed down. And I was like, wow, that's actually like really cool. And it's something that like people just don't really think about. And it was just cool to see that from behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I'm sure, especially with live broadcasts, one thing I think that you've been attributed to in your football career was preparation. I think that's huge in your game and a lot of people's game, but maybe it gave you the other side of the curtain of how much preparation goes into broadcasting. Cause yeah, I can't imagine having that countdown and just having it on like perfect repetition every time.
Oh, definitely. And like, plus like they gave us I think it was like the day before they gave us all the number changes, and he memorized everybody's number on the team. And I was like, geez, like there was no way I could have done that. No way. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of cool. It was all pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I can tell from talking to you, I think you got a future in it. I think you can communicate well. So hopefully you have a long 13 to 16 year football career afterwards. There you go. We can use you right here on the LA Football Network. But
yeah, that'd be nice.
How's Utah looking though? How's the squad looking?
I actually think they're looking actually pretty good. They've got. I don't think they had anybody leave.
Mm-hmm.
They've got. They got a new quarterback, and they got a few new quarterbacks to the system. They have a returning quarterback from last year that'll be battling for the spot. The defenses all came back. They were pretty young last year outside of the D-line and maybe the linebackers and then like one of the safeties, but everybody else is pretty young on the defense. But now they're older. They got a year under their belt, and I think I'm excited to see them do well this season. I think they have a really good chance. Yeah,
ever since your coach has been there, Whittingham, they always puts a good product, always competitive, and just churns out NFL talent. Seems like too, with obviously you being one of them. You guys had a pretty good class last year, which we'll segue into the draft. First, let me ask you this, because it was the strangest probably draft process in the history of the NFL with COVID and no pro days, no. And this year there was still some weird stuff, but it was a little more normal. Last year was just like complete shutdown. So what was that like for you? Declaring for the NFL draft and then basically being told, sorry, like what you put on tape is essentially it. And then having to just, hopefully do these blind interviews. Like what was the process like?
It was cool. I mean, I was, blessed enough to be able to get invited to the Senior Bowl. So I went there for that week and I was able to showcase some of my game there and my intellect with some of the meetings there. Mm-hmm. And then I was also blessed enough to get an invite to the Combine. So I, luckily the world shut down the week after the Combine, so I was able to actually endure that. So that was a cool experience. But with them canceling pro day the week before, because I actually ran in my second 40, I pulled my hamstring. So I was like, oh shoot, I didn't get to show my drills. So I was like, banking on pro day, and then pro day didn't happen. So it was kind of like, oh shoot, I had to make a video and everything, but that's not the same as in person. So it was interesting, but everything happens for a reason, and I'm glad that the world's kind of changing a little bit. But it's only it's only up from here.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's certainly probably not what you hoped for, but I think it worked out, and I think your landing spot, hopefully, I would assume you're happy about. We're certainly happy about. What was it like? You go in the third round, LA Rams. Who called you first? Was it Snead? Was it Coach McVay? And what was the call like?
I'm gonna be honest. It's probably one of the best moments I've ever had in my life. I think I remember I was sitting in my 'cause my mom has a 2-bedroom apartment with my sister. I was sitting in my sister's room. My brother was sitting next to me. We were talking about random stuff. It was kind of like the end of the night.
Yeah.
Everybody else in my family was in the living room talking about what we're gonna have for breakfast in the morning because I probably wasn't gonna go this late or whatever. They just thought they was kind of counting me out. And then my phone started buzzing and said Thousand Oaks, California, and instantly I was like, "Whoa, it's the Rams!"
Cool.
And it was Snead, and he tells me, he says, "You want to play football for the Rams?" And then instantly, all emotions run in. I start crying. It was Snead first, but it was a crazy moment I'll never forget for us.
What a blessing, man! That's awesome. And you were able to enjoy. That was kind of the cool thing of last year's draft is that everyone was like with their family and hanging out. And I think we'll see that shift regardless of stuff being back open. But what was it like for you getting the call, or I guess getting drafted by? I don't know if they were the hometown team, considering they were gone when you were in high school. They were in St. Louis, but they're the hometown team now. And I'm sure a lot of your community, whether it was the Chargers or maybe do follow the Rams, but either way, you're in LA, you're 2 hours from home. What was that like?
It's really nice. I know my mom's excited because I have a chance, so she can come see me play. Yeah. She's not going to want to come across the country all the time, so she's really excited. It's nice to be able to have my friends and family come see me play once we do have people in. And like, obviously I'm from California, so it's nice to be here. The weather's nice outside of taxes and how expensive it is to live here, but it's still, it's still really nice here. And I don't know, I couldn't have ended up in a better place.
Yeah, well, that's good. And happy Mother's Day to your mom, by the way. And
today
is actually Mexican Mother's Day, so it still is Mother's Day.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, my wife's Mexican, so my mother-in-law. So it's her.
Oh, that's cool.
They celebrate the 10th every year. Just keep it the 10th every year.
Oh, okay. That's good. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, well, thank you. So you get to the Rams now, and Jordan Fuller also gets drafted in the 6th round, and you guys come in, and I think this safety room was one of the best in the NFL. Obviously with John Johnson and Taylor Rapp and you two and Nick Scott, who I've had on the show, awesome guy too from Penn State and great special teamer. So how was the transition from playing collegiately, having a fantastic senior year like you did, and then coming in again and now being I don't want to say low on the totem pole, but being a rook, being the guy you got to earn your spot and to get on the field. What was that transition like?
I think it was good. I think what a blessing was that the team is very welcoming here in LA. Like, when you're in college, everyone always talks about like, oh, you go to college and it's a business, but it's really a family atmosphere, in my opinion, because we're all kind of just going. The camaraderie in college is different, and then they tell you going to the league, it's all business and it's all about money and all about this, all about that. It's not really a family atmosphere. But I really feel like here in LA, there's a family atmosphere feel to it. It's obviously not the same as college, but it's definitely more from what I hear about other teams. But so coming in, we had a great DB room, great, honestly, defense. So it was just nice to be able to come in and actually have older guys, veterans that'll help you learn. So it was, tough at first, but I think once you just get the hang of it, the ball just started rolling. And then, now we're at this point and just excited for this next season.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys obviously #1 defense in the league, and a lot of that was what you guys did on the back end. I'm always curious when I talk to players, because obviously I don't play in the NFL. I didn't get to that level. Brandon Staley, you're a fantastic defensive coordinator, now a head coach, still in LA, which we're happy about. Bummed not with you guys, but at least he's still here. How involved is the coordinator in your development? Because obviously Coach Evero is your position guy, and obviously probably very involved, and he's a fantastic coach. Yes, and we'll get to him in a second, but how involved is the coordinator? I'm always just curious how hands-on they are.
I mean, from the 1 year that I experienced, I think he was definitely different than the maybe coordinators they had in the past or other guys that had it with other teams. But he was very hands-on last year. He liked to, he'd like to have most of our meetings on defense with everybody together rather than split up. So he was pretty hands-on. I don't know. I appreciate him, that he took a chance on me as well as believing in me. But I'm excited to see what he does with the Chargers. I think he's going to do very well over there. Hopefully, whenever we get a chance, if we ever play them, that we end up on the good side of the final score. But I'm excited to see what he does over there. He's a great coach.
Totally. Hey, you guys are playing in the Super Bowl. You in here? All LA Super Bowl here at SoFi.
That'd be cool too.
That's going to happen. Yeah, no, that's everything I've heard about him, and excited for him too, and obviously what you guys did for him, I think, speaks volumes. And But your coach, Coach Evero, I honestly, just because of how good of a coach I think he is, I was surprised he wasn't plucked by another team like every other one of your coaches that were plucked by their teams. I was surprised he didn't get one. But how good is it for you, your development, and obviously now John Johnson being gone, so you guys have a very young room. How good is it for you guys that Coach Evero is back with you, and he'll be the guy leading the charge?
Oh, I think it's great. I think with coming into last year and him, being able to teach the young guys with Jordan starting and then Taylor Rapp getting in there, and then with Nick and I playing, and we've got a couple other guys, Juju Hughes and J.R. Reed, that were here this last season. I think it's nice to be able to go into your second year with the same coach. Obviously, coaches leave and coaches come and go. Totally. But I think it's really good, and I think it's really great for our development as a whole defensive back, I guess, secondary, to be able to have a familiar face in the office, in the meeting room, and to go into this year coming back and hungry for more. Yeah, absolutely. So, I thought you had a good start to your early career, and we're just continuing to grow. And then week 7 comes and unfortunately break the ankle. How are you, or how were you able to stay, mentally tough and resilient? Because, you work your ass off to get to where you are, then you have this setback. Was there someone, I'm sure there were, but were there particular people in your life, helping you, stay motivated, keep your head up? Was that all coming from within? Just kind of, what was that process like when, unfortunate things happen like that? I think I was leaning on my family a lot, and a lot of my friends that I talked to. Also God, I asked for a lot of prayers and totally the same thing. But I think, I don't know. I think one thing I really did my best to do was stay around the team. I felt like that was going to be something that helped me. So anytime I got a chance, I would stay at practice. Some days, obviously, it was a little painful, so I had to get home. But yeah. I think I got tired of my apartment when I was hurt, so I had to get out of here. So it was nice to be able to go and watch practice and still be, along with the team. So then I, was still involved. Yeah. And I think that was just what helped me get to the point I'm at today. Totally. And I'm sure even though you're injured, there's still so much of a mental aspect to, still staying up on, schemes and film and, watching tape, and just so you prepare for when you're coming back. I would assume anyway. Oh no, definitely. It was always, it was good. I probably wasn't in the beginning. It was probably a little hard to be in the meetings, but as I started to get better in regards to like my, I guess, the pressure I could put on it, I was able to go in the meetings and keep up with everything. That's good, man. So, but it's feeling pretty good now. You were saying earlier, feeling very good. I don't think I realized how much I was like holding back until I was able to walk for the first time. But yeah, since then it's been all uphill from there, and I think I'm excited to have it get even better than it is right now. Yeah, dude. Well, happy to hear it. We can't wait to see you out there. So, who is growing up? Was there a particular player you kind of looked up to that you modeled your game after? I feel like I do my best to take bits and pieces from everybody, regardless of who it is. I wouldn't say there's a specific player. No, I kind of just liked watching football. I think one thing that I really, I hate saying the word pride, but pride myself on is how to overcome adversity. I think that was one thing that I learned in college that was really important. And I think my favorite player ever is Tony Romo. I grew up a Cowboys fan, so Tony Romo was my favorite player. And I feel like he went through a lot of adversity in his whole career in the NFL, obviously with being undrafted and then going. Yeah. And then with his, the whole snap with against the Seahawks in the wild card round and all his injuries and how he just always came back from it. I think that was just something that showed me like really resiliency. And I think that was something that I always looked up to. Even though I didn't play quarterback, I've never been a quarterback. I may have played the position a little bit, but never was like an actual quarterback. So I think that was something I always looked up to. When DBs, I kind of looked at everybody. Yeah, I wouldn't say anybody in particular, but that's smart. Yeah. Well, hey, and if you do want a broadcasting career at football, I think Tony's a good one to look up to in that too. He's done pretty good. He's doing really well. That man, he calls everything out too. I'm sure coaches get mad at him. Right? They're like, "Come on, dude! Like, at least he's making more now than he did when he was playing football." So exactly. Crazy. Yeah, no, that's a good one to model after. And what about your game? And again, I think you seem like an extremely humble guy, so I don't want to make this weird, but just what about if you're selling yourself? What is the thing about your game that you pride yourself in the most? Definitely, I would say because obviously, football 101, NFL 101, I definitely have more to learn. But I would say what has gotten me to this point is everything above the shoulders. Obviously, I'm athletic. I wouldn't ever consider myself the most athletic person on the team because I know I'm not. But I definitely would say above the shoulders and how I'm able to see things like once I understand them. I think that is what is probably the best part of my game.
Totally. Yeah, I could see that too. And I probably know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. If you had a preference, do you prefer free safety, strong safety, nickel, or are you just like, coach, just put me in and let me go make a play?
Yeah, I think I'll do whatever they ask me to do. I don't really have a preference. I think I definitely love tackling. I definitely love being close to the box, but we play in a variety of different coverages here. So I think whatever they ask me to play is what I'm ready to play.
Yeah, no, yeah, I figured. So good answer. That's the way, and that's why you're on the field. So that's good. Okay, so I probably know the answer to this on defense, but I'll ask that and then I'll follow up on answer. Who's the biggest trash talker on the Rams defense?
The biggest trash talker on the Rams defense.
If it's not who I think, I'll be shocked.
I think everybody knows the answer to this question, but I don't think. I don't know. I would like to say Jalen just because, he gets broadcasted the most, but I don't know. I don't think we have too many trash talkers on our defense. I feel like he's more one that jaws when someone comes at him, but
fair.
The one that's out. I'm sure the D line is probably talking shit every play. So
yeah,
if I was that close, I'd probably be able to give a different answer. But I guess I'd say Jalen probably.
Okay, yeah. Is there anyone when you're in practice, anyone on offense that jaws out?
So I mean, Van Jefferson and I, we always jaw each other a lot. But I think I don't know. I don't know if there's one that would probably be like, I guess, broadcasted that I know that is actually very outspoken on the field. Usually I'm just like watching the team. But yeah, man, me and him would always go at each other during practice sometimes.
You got to have that receiver secondary back and forth.
Yeah. In the locker room too. So
there you go. Yeah. And you're in the same rookie class. So you got to
that's true.
Have that few picks apart.
Yes. Sir.
So, all right. Well, last thing about the Rams, and I just want to ask you a couple just, fun questions, get to know you better. And dude, this has been so much fun. So thanks again for jumping on with me and hanging out, talking to Terrell Burgess, Rams safety. But you guys, you make it to the division round last year, have a great season, number one defense. Unfortunately, lose a couple players in Troy Hill and John Johnson, but you bring back Leonard Floyd. I like the Raheem Morris hired if you did have to lose Brandon Staley. So I think your defense, and you're going to be back healthy, which I think is huge. So the defense has a lot to live up to, but I think you guys are up for the task. Looking at offense, I'm not asking you at all to say anything back because I think, Jared Goff did a lot of great things for this team, a lot of great thing for Los Angeles. And we've talked on our show, me and Frostee, a ton about how much respect we had for Jared and what he could do in Detroit. But what did it mean, or what was the emotion, I guess, getting now Matthew Stafford as your new QB? And I don't even know if you guys have had the chance to meet or talk at all, but just what's kind of the vibe about, your new quarterback?
Yeah, so I've actually met him. So I've been in the facility for rehab, and he's come in to do different things or, get his body right in general. But I've been able to meet him. He's a great human being. I think, I'm excited for Jared, what he's going to do in Detroit. I think he can, I don't want to say turn their whole program around because they were doing well with Matt, but just couldn't, I feel like there was a hump, and I feel like Jared has the ability, that he's, back against the wall, kind of like he can turn him around. But I'm excited to see what Matt does. I have respect for both of the quarterbacks. I think the difference between them two is he's got more experience. So I think I'm excited to see what happens in regards to the offense. But I do my best not to talk too much about the offense because I don't play on the offense side of the ball. There's a reason. So
yeah, for sure. I think it was good for both guys. Just fresh new start, and sometimes in the league you just need that. Just a fresh. It's not one's worse than the other or better than the other. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's just a fresh, fresh start. Try something new. For this defense, just piggybacking off that, what do you guys need to do? And you don't have to give me any X's or anything, but just to maintain that dominance of being, the number one overall defense. How do you? Because obviously backs now, you got the X on the back. And you lost some players. So how do you just maintain that dominance?
I think the big thing that we need to do is just, prove everybody right. Because the people are already, eyes on us. Oh, best defense in the world. The offenses are going to come at us. So I think we need to just go out there and do exactly what we're supposed to do and not just be, because I don't remember many defenses that go back-to-back years being the number one defense. Yeah. So I think we need to go out there and we know what we're supposed to do. Just go out there, know our assignment, know our alignment, play with great technique, and make sure we keep the ball in front of us and not behind us.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. And I have to ask, Frost always makes fun of me because I always say, all right, last question. And I ask like 4 more, but I have to at least ask this or I'd feel bad. But your new coordinator, Raheem Morris, again, I don't know how much you guys have met just because of all the protocols and stuff, but what's been your impression so far on Raheem Morris?
The man talks really fast, but he's a jokester. He's funny. And I'm excited to see how the season goes with him because he's a great coach. He seems very smart, and I'm excited to learn from him and elevate my game with being in the defense that he's running.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's done some good things with safeties and secondary and, big Tampa 2 guy and all that. So it should be, be fun seeing your development and stuff. So, all right, Charles, let's ask a few just random questions here, then I'll get you out of here. I know you're a busy guy, so appreciate you. You're an LA guy or a SoCal guy. What's your favorite food? I know it's a tough question to label down to one, but if you're going, if mom's cooking or you're going out, what's the number one choice?
Definitely my favorite food by far is my mom's mac and cheese. Definitely out of anything. My mom makes the best mac and cheese I've ever had in my life.
What makes it special?
Honestly, there's not anything in it. Not anything special. No, nothing. It's just cheese and, but
it's a lot of love, huh?
Yeah, she's really good at making mac and cheese. So I'd say that. But if I had to just say like something that I missed being in Utah, coming back to California, was definitely Mexican food. I love Mexican food, so I would say that.
Yeah, best. Is there a spot in LA that since you've been back, do you like, or just any Mexican food out here?
I haven't been to many places up here in the valley because that's where I stay. But there's a few places in LA that I've been to that are pretty good. That I wouldn't be able to pinpoint yet. But
yeah.
I'll have to get back to you on that.
My wife makes amazing Mexican food, so I'll have to bring you some one day.
Oh, definitely. That would be great. I would love to.
She does good stuff. Enchiladas, tacos, all of it. Pozole, all of it. So
pozole.
Nice rainy day if you want some good pozole.
I haven't had pozole in a long time. So
I got your hookup. Right here. So
I appreciate it.
All right. This is always the hardest question for anyone, but favorite movie?
Oh, this one's easy.
Easy. Okay.
White Chicks with the Wayans Bros. I can recite I can't even watch the movie anymore because I know every line to the movie. I can recite the whole thing from top to bottom. Like it's bad. Like I don't even watch the movie anymore. But that would definitely be my favorite movie. I like a few other movies, obviously, with action, comedy, comedies, the whole 9 yards. But that would definitely be top and top. White Chicks. 100%.
Okay. Terrell Burgess, favorite movie, White Chicks. It's a good one.
Chicks, yeah,
it's like me with Anchorman. I can recite the whole thing.
Oh, Anchorman's a great one too.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell he's a Land of the Lost. You ever seen that with Will Ferrell?
No, Land of the Lost.
That's a funny one. Land of the Lost.
I'm a huge Will Ferrell guy too. I'm embarrassed I haven't seen that. So I'll check it out.
That's a funny movie too.
Okay, is it streaming on anything? Do you know?
I have no clue. I haven't seen that movie. That's a while.
I'll look it up. So, all right, last one. What's your favorite thing to do on your day off? If you're not training, not working out, not a practice, just what do you enjoy doing as a hobby? I guess.
Outside of watching movies, I kind of just like to chill. I don't really do too much. I obviously am from California. I love the beach, but I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of the beach. I don't know. I like a lot of things. I like watching TV, chilling. I play video games from time to time.
Okay. What's your game of choice?
Game of choice. Right now, I think I've been playing Warzone the most, but MLB The Show just came out, and I started playing it a good amount last night, and it's pretty fun. So I definitely would advise a lot of people to get that game because it's fun.
Are you Xbox or PS5?
PS5. Been PlayStation until I die.
Okay. Yeah. It's one. Yeah. There you go. I'm not a huge gamer, but I always laugh at people that are like, it's one or the other. There's no.
Yeah. Definitely one or the other. I've played Xbox before, but I've never owned one of mine.
Yeah. There you go. So have you golfed at all since being in the NFL?
Oh, I have. My first time golfing, like actually golfing, like whole 18 holes, was last year. Like last year around this time, actually. I didn't do too well. I did better than I expected, but I didn't do that well. So
yeah. Well, first time. I mean, it's gonna takes years. So
definitely, I definitely plan to get better at it. I'll tell you that.
I wonder why. I've always noticed. I feel like more offensive players golf than defensive players. I wonder why that is. Unless it's just I'm asking the wrong people.
Yeah, no, I think that's an unconscious thing that just happens. I don't think anybody's like, oh no, I'm not golfing. I think it's just like, but
yeah, I don't know. Just because all quarterbacks golf, so they just go with their like receivers, or I wonder what that is.
That's probably what it is. Honestly, yeah.
Well, hey, you need to get on the golf course with Tony Romo. You guys can talk football, talk broadcasting. He can give you some pointers, and then he's like on the PGA almost. So
I know he's doing pretty good. I heard right now. So,
Yeah, he's pretty good at everything. Lucky guy. So.
That's true.
All right, bro. Well, hey, man, I seriously appreciate you. Huge fan of yours. Love watching you in college, followed you from afar. And then, obviously, since being with the Rams, we've been stoked to cover you and really excited for you to get back on the field. And I know you'll have a huge impact right from the get-go, wherever it is they put you. So keep rehabbing, keep grinding, and we appreciate you. And hopefully we'll stay in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Thanks for having me on.
All right. There you have it. Terrell Burgess, awesome guy. That was fun. I was like first time meeting him, and it was like just super casual and fun to chat with him. So, hope him nothing but the best in his rehab. And I think he's gonna be a big impact player. I think he'll be heavily involved in that nickel spot or that star spot. He'll be playing the money spot maybe. So I think he'll be on the field a lot. He's a lot of outlets have called him, potential breakout player for this season. I think that's very fair. I think last year he was getting to that point and then the injury happened. So, the combination of, him and Fuller and Taylor Rapp are going to be heavily in rotation, I think. So, yeah, awesome dude, awesome kid, local LA kid, SoCal kid. So hopefully you enjoyed the show. Rams fans, make sure to subscribe wherever you are listening. We are everywhere you listen: Apple, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, and of course we're on YouTube at LAFB Network. Please check us out there. All of our interviews there. We got all of our new shows on the LA Football Network going to be up there. Chargers Unleashed, Rams Brothers, Compas on the Beat. We do film breakdowns, so a lot of stuff on the YouTube. LAFB Network. Hit that subscribe button, helps us out immensely. So thank you all for the support. Shout out to Brewery X, shout out to Garrison Brothers, sponsors for the show. All of those descriptions and links will be, or I should say all those links will be in the description if you want to pick up some whiskey or beer. Certainly do that. And then next time we record, you can hang out with us and have a drink. But yeah, enjoy your week, guys. We got another big interview. Chargers fans, we got an interview for you coming up towards the end of the week or early next week. We're trying to lock down a time, but got a big interview for Chargers fans next week. So yeah, big thanks, Terrell Burgess. Thank you all for listening. I am Ryan Dyrud. You can find me at Ryan Dyrud, LAFB. Follow me there. We can chat, talk football, talk Mexican food, talk whatever you want, hang out. So enjoy the beginning of this week here in LA, and we'll talk all very soon.